Hey, me here, and I have a hot take. Creators should not be making products, and a lot of creators are acting like established entrepreneurs that dropped out of Stanford to make the world's biggest tech-related AI startup, got funded by A16Z, and went through Y Combinator, or selling chocolate. Now let me backtrack a little bit, because what if selling chocolate was a lot more calculated approach than just creating and selling a product? And what if this business approach goes way deeper than the channel, way deeper than making YouTube videos, and way deeper than just selling chocolate? Let's break it all down. Partnering has been the biggest favor for the creators who've been launching successful companies, and I say companies, not products. There's a big difference. By creating a company around what they're doing, they're establishing credibility. They're bringing in people who are well esteemed in the industry, and they understand how to create these products to be successful and to coordinate them with their audiences as well. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Mr. Beast and Feastables. Who did they partner with? There's a company called Night Media that's run by Reed Duche, and they partner with tons of the biggest creators in the world. Now, why would it be a good idea for Mr. Beast to sell chocolate? Out of anything he could have sold, why chocolate? Well, Mr. Beast's brand is built around energy, family-friendly, and entertaining. And that's the idea that chocolate builds around. Think of Hershey Park, for example. Hershey Park's a family-friendly time. It's a family-friendly experience to celebrate having chocolate on Easter or something. And also, chocolate's packed with sugar, so that provides energy, which leads to more entertainment. And as a result of aligning his brand with his image online, he's been able to land himself in stores like Walmart, 7-Eleven, Target. Every single store that you could think of, Mr. Beast and Feastables has some sort of market penetration in. I even saw it at Best Buy. Let's talk about Nelk Boys and Happy Dad. Now, the Nelk Boys didn't just randomly launch the biggest alcohol brand out of any creators in the entire space. They calculated it, like every single other successful creator here. Their entire brand was built around pranks, drinking alcohol, and partying. And their most famous pranks involved alcohol. So it only made sense that they made something that was alcohol-centered and completely worked perfectly with their brand. And they partnered with a company called the Shahidi Brothers, who work with some of the biggest alcohol and drink brands in the entire world. So it's safe to say that the Nelk Boys and Happy Dad are in good hands, and they calculated their success and didn't just go out and create something by themselves expecting to make money off their fans. And this is one of my favorite businesses, of individuals who started their own brands as a creator and has completely killed the game and is continuing to do so every single day. I have a science background and I love all of his videos. Let's talk about Mark Rober and Crunch Labs. So he's an engineer. He worked at Apple. He has tons of patents in Apple. He worked at NASA. He was a jet propulsion engineer, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to business. And he created his entire brand around science experiments, creating tech advancements, and everything that has to do with the infusion of entertainment and technology. Crunch Labs was a perfect alignment of his brand. And I think the reason Mark Rober was able to do it so well was because he was well established, number one. He had the credibility. He was able to continuously push the boundaries of science and technology, and he had a lot of capital of his own to create the business around. He could bring people in with expertise, and he could leverage their experience to create Crunch Labs, which is a pioneer now in the intersection of technology with the younger generation. For those who don't know, Crunch Labs essentially sends out a subscription box every single month to kids to work on technology and science-related projects. I think it's genius that it goes with his brand. Number one, he's creating subscription revenue, so if he wants to sell the company years down the road, he can do it for a higher exit multiple, and he'll make a ton of money off of that if he wants to retire and stop and just go back to making YouTube videos. He also aligned it perfectly with his brand, which is why it's succeeding so well. I think another individual who found a lot of success through making their own brand was Nick DiGiovanni. Another YouTuber. He works in the food industry, and he created Osmo's Salt. And Nick graduated from Harvard. He was on MasterChef, where he was getting cooked by Gordon Ramsay, and now partnering with Gordon Ramsay on YouTube. When you think of Nick's channel, it's energetic, it's fun, it's food oriented. So we would have assumed that he would make something around food, which the first one was a cookbook. It was okay. There's a lot of people that could say that they've done that. There's people who aren't associated with cookbooks that go down that route, but the unique twist that he did was with salt. I would have never expected him to do something with Osmo's Salt. And this guy, he's a Harvard business grad. He was going to work with some of the biggest chefs in the world. He had a job lined up at McDonald's where he was going in and being an undercover food reviewer, which pays way more money than you think. And he took the route of YouTube and publicizing his videos based off of the exposure he got from being on MasterChef. And after creating Osmo, he's partnered with Nutella, Walmart, and some of the biggest retail brands in the entire world. This one's gonna be interesting to watch though, because he hasn't found the success of a company like Crunch Labs, but he also only launched a year and a half ago. And Nick's followers have not even come close to peaking. So it's interesting to see how big and how far he's going to go with that. And the largest creators are buying their own studios and working at production level movie quality studios. They're literally stealing the people who worked on movies to come work for their YouTube channels to create cinematic level movies, but with the twist and the personality of their channel and YouTube as a whole. But being a high-level YouTuber is like being a high-level entrepreneur. You manage payroll, you manage everybody else's problems, you manage day-to-day activities, you manage operations, you make sure that everything's going well on set, which would be where the videos are shot. And this is similar to what every single type of business owner has to do on a day-to-day business as well. And this is a major reason why 10% of YouTube channels have over 1,000 followers, and most people give up before they even get past that stage because it's hard to scale and it's hard to progress. It's tough. Just like building a business is tough. And it's also a process. Building a business takes time. Building a YouTube channel takes time. There's a lot of risk involved, and a lot of people give up before they see diamonds. And this is all just the start of the boom of the creator economy. This is how I see it going within the next couple of years. The hierarchy of entrepreneurs is broken down into 3 different tiers. The lowest tier of individual creator entrepreneurs are working to get ad revenue, and they're working through affiliate deals, whether it's TikTok Shop or YouTube. And most of them won't scale past that. The second tier gets brand sponsorships, getting paid for meet and greets, and works into getting their own merch line out. This is where it becomes a lot more lucrative and you can make a ton more money than just depending on all the ad revenue that you get. It allows for the creator to have much better margins and makes them much more profitable overall to put back into the company. Yeah, I said company because it's a company at this stage, not just a channel anymore. And then the highest level of the creator entrepreneurs scale past just having a YouTube channel in general and branch out into different ventures. They create things like Prime, Joyride, Crunch Labs, Feastables, Chamberlain Coffee, and the list goes on and on. And then they continue to scale these to be multi-million to billion-dollar companies and work out of production studios that are movie-level quality. This all comes down to creators launching their own businesses versus partnering with existing businesses and agencies. Creators are partnering with the world's biggest companies and brands, and it's a lot smarter than trying to launch their own product with no additional help for a ton of different reasons. The first thing is creators are good at marketing. Marketing themselves, marketing their stories, marketing their why behind their channel. And it only makes sense to partner with people who are business oriented to be able to help supplement with their insane marketing abilities with a product that aligns with their brand. This allows them to, number 1, step into a position where they're working with people who have found success, and number 2, they're potentially already working with partially established brands. They can use their creative marketing skills to leverage the growth of the brand at a lot more exponential rate than if they did traditional marketing. Plus, they don't have to worry about any of the back-end day-to-day stuff. And honestly, it's the best type of partnership ever. You get to make content for people who already love you, already love the product and everything that you do within the channel. And they don't have to deal with any of the stress that comes with actually building, developing, running, and exiting a business. It's a win-win for the creators. Logan Paul and KSI, and this is one of the most popular creator brands past Feastables, and it's for a good reason. They sold 1 billion of these bottles in a pretty short amount of time. But they definitely didn't do this by themselves. They leverage partnerships. Congo Brands is run by Max Clemens and Tony Steiger, who are already extremely successful businessmen. They work directly with Refresco, which is one of the biggest drink manufacturers in the world with over 70 locations to build these drink products worldwide. So I think it's pretty safe to say they know what they're doing. And love them or hate them, these guys have leveraged their creativity past their brand, past their audience to create entirely new audiences through the partnerships that they've been able to create. Official drink of the UFC, official drink of the Premier League, official drink of Barcelona, and the list continues to grow and grow every single day. I mean, those are some big names by some of the biggest sporting associations in the entire world. And they're in Walmart, 7-Eleven. I see them in every single store I go into. And this is all just within the last 2 years. So they're just getting started. I think these guys kind of walked so everybody else could run, but they did it in a way that was very intelligent as to why it would grow their brand, aligned with their brand, because Logan Paul, KSI, they're all around entertainment and spontaneity and being extemporaneous, working off the spur of the moment, doing crazy things. Logan Paul with his YouTube channel, KSI with the Sidemen, they do a bunch of ridiculous stuff, but that's kind of what Prime's brand stands for. It's about being active, being ready to rock and roll, being able to do things that might even be out of your comfort zone to have fun and have a good time with extreme sports and anything that revolves around adventure. And I think they do a really good brand association with the colors as well. Like I identify blue raspberry with snow sports, I identify red with like basketball and soccer, and green is like more intelligent type sports like tennis. Not intelligent, but more psychologically stimulating like tennis and golf. I think that this is one of the smartest brand partnerships with Danny Duncan and Do Good Sport. Let's think about Danny Duncan for a second. What is he known for? Being completely outrageous, doing things that nobody else would want to do, like launching butane rockets while he's on a motorcycle, jumping off cliffs, jumping cars across streets. It's just blowing up houses. It's things that most people wouldn't think of. But he's doing all these things outdoors, and being active is around his entire brand and being spontaneous, similar to Logan Paul and KSI. That's why Do Good Sport and CrossNet was a good partnership for him, because it's all associated with backyard games, being outside, and just exploring opportunities to have fun. This was a great partnership, not just for Danny, but Do Good Sport as well, because they're in Walmart, they're in Amazon, and they're growing exponentially year over year. In 2024, you don't want to hear it, but you have to run your YouTube channel as a business if you want to scale and grow it to a high level. It's just how it is. And by doing that, it's impossible to do it alone. You could be a diamond in the rough with somebody like Sam Silik, but you don't see anybody else doing that style of content, at least right now. Because in the beginning of YouTube, it was all about authenticity. and social media was growing, and then the market got super saturated, and now it's more about quantity over quality. Who can get the most content out for the most eyeballs to see it, for the most engagement rate and the highest click-through rate, to then have the most people decide to follow them, buy their products, support their brand. But now I think we're kind of finding this return to more originality, where it's more breaking down the third wall of just a creator talking to their audience, resonating with people. And I think it's because people are so tired of the hyper-edited, hypersensitive YouTube videos of people just trying to sell them things or tell them they have to act a certain way to get a desired outcome. People just want to have fun, be entertained, be on social media to learn from other people and share the experiences with people. I mean, that's what I try and do on the channel. I don't try and tell you guys to go buy or do anything. I try and share my experiences I have throughout life with everybody on the other side of the camera, and then we talk about it in the comments together. That's what makes YouTube cooler than any other form of social media, because you can't get that. Everybody just focuses on, well, what's the next video? What's the best way that I can stimulate somebody to stick for the longest retention rate? If you do it the right way, it's going to happen organically. And I think that short form content has really ruined people's dopamine levels and shifted the dynamic from quality back to quantity. So it's refreshing to see people like Sam Sulek who are bringing that return to normalcy. But then on the other side of it, you have people who are like Mr. Beast. He has hyper edited videos with high stakes, high challenges, and it's just not attainable for most YouTubers. But in the day and age we're at, attention is the new form of currency. But there's so many creators who decided to take this route and failed miserably. And there's others who carved their own path and found success and continued success to build some of the biggest brands on the planet. Let's start with who decided to partner. Now, this one is one of the most recent creator brands, and they blew up immediately. I'm pretty sure that he just sold out within the first 3 days. Ryan Trahan and Joyride. Ryan actually partnered directly with Joyride. Obviously, people know it's a candy brand now, and they were selling sour strips, but that's not what their first product was. They were already an established company that had products on the shelves, and they just scrapped everything to rebuild and rebrand the company around Ryan Trahan. When I think of Ryan Trahan's content, it's playful, it's happy, it's also energetic. Similar to Feastables, it's the same family-friendly feel and entertainment feel that these individuals are able to create on their audience. Ryan Trahan probably has a younger audience that's gonna love the candy that he's putting out, and it's also more healthy, so parents are gonna love it as well. I could see this being in the world's biggest candy stores, Target, Walmart, pretty much every single store that Feastable's in as well. Now let's talk about the creators who started their own brand, and I feel personally that they're either failing or failed. The first one being the D'Amelio family. Charli D'Amelio is one of the most followed people on the planet with 150 million TikTok followers, which is unreal in itself. And she blew up and got famous so fast. Her entire family got famous and blew up with her. Now, what's the problem here? If they have all this money, if all this clout, how did they fail? Instead of building a brand around their audience and what they were known for, they tried to go for the low-hanging fruit, which was selling popcorn, selling clothes, selling shoes, trying to get as much money out of their audience as possible. They built products, they didn't build a brand. And the companies that fail sell solutions to external problems, but people buy from companies who solve internal problems. And now I know what you're thinking. Why would a chocolate bar solve an internal problem? If someone's hungry, they have a sweet tooth, they associate the chocolate with their favorite creator, Mr. Beast, who they know have put a ton of time into creating it, put advertisements in all their videos, make it the entire center ecosystem of his identity as a creator. But with the D'Amelios, you don't really see that as much. It's a lot more on the back end, and they don't really promote it and throw it in people's faces, but they didn't spend a lot of time doing it. They just kind of launched it expecting their followers to buy it. At a beginner level, you just have yourself working on the channel. You want to grow it, you want to scale it. This is like the starting phase where everybody gets super excited and they film a bunch of videos, and then it starts scaling. At the medium level, you could have yourself, a cameraman, an editor, and potentially a scriptwriter as well. Now at the highest level, you obviously have yourself, a cameraman, 1 to 2 to 3 to an entire team of editors, a scriptwriter, a manager, and the list goes on. And this is just for the channel itself to be competitive at the highest levels. And if you think it's a good idea to bring on the right people to scale a massive YouTube channel, it's gonna get even crazier with what I'm about to say, so make sure to stick around. What all these creators were able to find success around was to build a successful brand, not a successful product. They grew all their social media channels and they told the story of the brand around the content they create. And this holds true with every single successful brand in the world. When you think of Nike, what do you think of? Peak athletic performance, the biggest athletes in the world, and doing something great. That seems to fit well with their clothing, style, and partnerships. When you think of Red Bull, you think of high-level stunts, energy, and people who are willing to push themselves to the limit. And that goes perfect with their drink that has just enough battery acid for these people to do these continuous crazy videos. And it's possible for everybody watching this video to do that too. And I'm not talking about building a $150 million empire like Mr. Beast. Each person who's watching this video video has the ability to create their own brand, write their own story, and create products around what they're building. It doesn't have to just be a product either. It could be a service-based business. It all starts with building trust in your audience and providing value to them along the way. And if you're able to do this, you'll be at the level or even one day higher than all the people that you look up to and never thought you'd see yourself seeing eye to eye with. Remember, pressure makes diamonds. Don't give up while you're still cold. I appreciate all you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.